welcome to the show tonight. I'm David McCoyle. I'm really excited to be here tonight, bringing you great stuff tonight. Today is my birthday, and we are really having a good time here. So I'll be right back. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. David McCoyle, your host tonight on Global Impact. Again, we are still on this subject of Teach Thyself, but today it's a special edition. So I'll be talking a lot about myself, not as bragging about myself, but also sharing with you personal stories of growing up and how I began to do things for myself right from the start. Growing up in Africa is absolutely different, unlike growing up elsewhere. The reason simply is because Africa is not as developed as the West is. So if you're watching this show from the West, you'll find out that my explanations might be different and even difficult to understand. But I'm going to try to be as open as possible. Children in Africa basically have some great experiences growing up, which are personal experiences. In many cases, they are very difficult experiences, because you grow up mostly in places, in cosmopolitan Africa, in African cities, of course, definitely. To some extent, it's much, much different. But basically, it's just 40% of Africa, or even less, that live in cities. So you can imagine about 65 to 70% of Africans live in rural areas where daily life is totally different, Either there is no electricity, there is no running water, or there are no social amenities, Mostly in Africa. For example, when I traveled to the United States and I saw a high school, I was surprised because many universities don't even have this, the facilities that junior high schools have, middle schools have in the United States. So, for example, children are not exposed to many sports. They are not exposed to many activities, so they have to create their own. I would tell you that it's actually much, much fun when they have to create their own activities, of course, but they don't have these well-financed activities, sporting activities and recreations, like having gyms, having well-developed football stadia, and and auditoriums, sports auditoriums. Mostly. I don't know of any high school that has that, but largely they are really rough grounds, rough plays, and creativity that brings out the sweat in the African sun. So we don't have a lot of opportunities, if you like to call it that way, of course, opportunities to a polished childhood. Things are really fine, things are wonderful. No, we don't have that. You see children playing soccer barefoot, or without really sporting kids, and they do very well at it, because most of the people that represent most African countries in international sports started that way, and they excelled that way. They excelled that way. I know of a football soccer player who is really making millions in Europe, but he didn't wear his first pair of shoes until he was about 12 or so. And so you can imagine that. Never had shoe to wear. And yet he, through the dirt and the dust of Africa, will go out there and really have fun. Sometimes I go out and I look at children around us, playing in the dust, playing in the sand, having real fun, making friends, enjoying themselves. And I am like, wow, that's awesome. Of course they don't have opportunities, but what they have, they make good use of it, and they enjoy themselves. They are very active, very, very active. They are competitive. They learn how to lose. They learn how to win. And they learn how to be ridiculed, and they learn how to enjoy and have friends, So it is not a bed of roses in Africa. However, it is with great pleasure, with great fun, Young people, children have great fun growing up. We grew up that way. We grew up having fun. I can remember lots of sports that we did. And years back, I think in 1979 or thereabout, 1980, 1979, 80, 81, the young people in my village were trying to buy a football, soccer ball, I can tell you, I can remember vividly where they had to get jobs. They go and do jobs together as a group over and over to raise money. I think sometimes they will go out there and work as a team all together, all the young people in the community, probably about 30 to 40 in the village, go out and work on people's farmlands and raise money to buy one soccer ball, ball. And it was wow. And who buy it, once they buy it, you can see great rejoicing in the whole community. And today I think about it. And I wonder why we didn't, go out there, ask people in the communities, elders, working people to contribute some money so we could get even a better quality. No, but they you can imagine that they had to go out of their way and get and raise money and buy their own soccer so they can. And then I remember that we raised money also to buy wood so we can come and make the goal post for the soccer player. It was rather fun. The good thing about it is that we felt that we have achieved something. The feeling of we have achieved something. I mean, nobody gave us the ball, so we handled it carefully. It was well kept. The whistle, the ball, they were well kept because we had to labor hard to buy it. That was really interesting. And then again, everything you have to buy it. You have to work hard. We need to go. We need to go out there and buy it. And then some people will work hard, raise money to go and buy their first rubber shoes. Rubber shoes. It is incredible. I don't have samples of them here to show you. I would have. If I had known, I would have gotten some of them to show you. It was incredible. But, the joy of accomplishing something, achieving something. We buy the ball after working for days, raising money for it. And then we buy wood, go down and cut down trees. We buy it because we don't live in a forest area. So, trees are rather expensive. So we raise money, buy 3, cut them down, and carry them on ourselves. There's no, let's get a car to carry it. No, we go out there, trek through miles of distance, and go cut down the trees and trim them and bring them together. And then we dig down the holes, put the goal post there, and you could see great excitement, happiness that the kids in the community have achieved something. It was really beautiful. And then we set days for practice, come down for training, and people will train, and they will pick the best, and get a captain, organize themselves, and then plan for matches with other communities and villages near and far away. It was always wonderful. And then, when you play these matches, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. When you win, you are so full of joy. You feel you have attained something. There's this great thing about winning. And then when you lose, Everybody is sad. Everybody is thinking deep, what went wrong? What should we have done? What didn't we do? It was quite a great experience. I'll be back after this break. Be back. Okay, so we are welcome back to the show. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. Today is my birthday, and we are having a special edition. And I'm sharing about life in Africa, growing up in Africa. The things that we went through, the challenges that we went through. It's interesting. It's incredible. You know, in Africa, you don't have. We still don't have government provisions for recreational facilities. We don't have provision for so many things, and many parents have never had anything close to what we are, would not even think of having something better for their children. So basically, it's not because the resources are not there. In many cases, there are resources, but the priorities are not there. However, even then, you have to work hard and think of how to make life better for yourself and how to be happy. Like I was saying, when it came to sports and athletics, we did a lot of that. We did have to work hard. We did to go out there, play our matches. Sometimes you feel cheated, very painful, but then you calm down and take the loss in good faith. And sometimes you win, and you are so super excited. You feel like you're walking on the moon, and it was really incredible, growing up that way. Also, as we go out, play, got involved with sports, you make friends, really. Make good friends. Friends that became friends for life. Friends that eventually turn out to affect your life. And it's incredible that in those sporting competitions, that young men get to meet young women that eventually get married later in life. You wouldn't believe that. And it was really a great experience, and it was always a great experience. You learn to do the sports, you learn to win, you learn to make friends, you learn to develop friendships, and you work together. One other thing, of course, that relates to that I'm saying is that a lot of parents couldn't afford anything for the young person, for the child. So for a very young age, the child has to begin to work and learn a lot of things. Have to raise a lot of support for themselves. I know young people whose parents have never been bought shoes for them or clothes for them, apart from when they were very tiny, little. As they grew up, they began to fend for themselves. They work hard, they go out to work for others. They want to plant their own crops and sell and afford for themselves. I know young men and young women who went to high school and paid their own fees through. I tell you, many of them paid their own school fees and other activities, basically did it. I mean, young people, I'm talking about young people who are 14, 15, 16. They went out there, paid their own fees because they just wanted to go to school. Their parents didn't go to school. They don't see the value of education, and so they won't give out their precious little money they have, except if they have that understanding. Many of them never had that understanding. So many young people on their own learn to do a lot of things, take care of themselves, send themselves to school, send themselves to high schools, to the universities. I know many young people who actually paid their way through university. I'm not talking about loan. Where are you going to get loan in Africa? You won't get any loan anywhere for college. There's nothing like loan. Nothing. So you work hard. You work hard, you struggle through, you stay hungry, but you keep putting in the effort. You put in the effort until you get through to university. And I'll tell you something. Because these young people spend their money to get through university, the money, it becomes very precious to them. They work very hard. Even in school with the academics. They don't joke with the academics. They don't waste their resources. They don't miss classes. They do everything, and some of them come out incredibly well. They do very well because they value their money. They put in their money, and the interesting thing is that they are graduating without any debt. They are graduating with no debt. It's incredible. I look at the incredible spirit of young African people, and I am really, really, really touched. It's not because the resources are not there, like I said. It's because the priorities of leadership is not there. Politicians are corrupt and they loot the money and use all the money for other things. So parents who are working don't really earn much enough to send their children to school, not because they don't work hard, but because they are not well paid, and so on and so forth. But it's incredible when you see young people go out of their way, put in their effort, pay their own fees, buy their own uniforms, buy their own books. I mean, young men and young women. Some parents in Africa are still having the olden days, the archaic mentality that training a woman is a waste of money. So sometimes you see they'll send their boys to school and not the girls, even though that is radically changing. But yet there are many who are still holding out. There are many also who don't care about raising anybody. I mean, as far as they're concerned, you are alive, you have grown of age, you've got 10 years, you can survive. I mean, they tell you where they're coming from, how it was tough, and they survived. They tell you even life is better now. But the incredible fighting spirit of the young people, it's something that is not worthy, something to appreciate. And they work hard, and they give it their best, and they work hard to make it, they work hard to earn it, they work hard to receive it, and many of them eventually succeed through hard work. They succeed. They put in their best, they make it. And so I know many people. I know a young man who went to university. Basically, when he was in junior high school, his dad told him, hey, when you finish your junior high school, I'll send you to learn to be a bus conductor or a carpenter, And, the boy said, if that says, then that is it. However, when he graduated from junior high school, he was one of the best students in the class, and the head of the school persuaded him to go forward with education, And his father said, if you want to go forward with education, you're on your own. I'm not going to support you. I don't have any business with that. Well, he listened to his teacher and the head of the school, and he went forward, kept struggling. But putting in every effort, he will do anything, do any kind of menial job, to put his energy into anything, go and work at the weekends, raise some money, and he went back to go to school. And it was incredible. And he was doing science, and he came out as one of the best science students in that school. That was really awesome. Where will he go on from here? How will he ever go to university if at all he will ever make it? He never thought that he could. So he thought of getting a job. Let me get something to do while I sort myself out on what I'm going to do next. He went to a private school, private schools. Private schools in Africa pay little to nothing, little to nothing, probably $50 a month, $100 a month if you work hard. Some can afford to pay you $100 a month, a whole month of work, 28 days of work. They pay you $100 for the whole month. I know that those my friends in the United States will find it hard to understand that, but that's the truth. And they were paying him less than $100 a month. I remember that young man then. He just knew me then as missionary, and even out of the $100 that he was paid, he will make sure that he sows donates to my mission. He will tell me that I want to donate to this mission. I love what you do, And sometimes I will really feel it for him. Well, he was giving unto God, and you never lose when you give it to God. He kept doing it, never failed to do, always did it. As soon as he's paid, he will look for me, and he will pay. He will tell me, this is his donation to missions, and he kept doing it. And then getting a little raise here and there, raise here and there, raise here and there. And one day he's the head of the school where he was working asked him and said, "What are you doing? Why are you not going to university?" He smiled and said, "University? How am I going to afford university?" She said, "No, you can't. They have evening courses. You don't have to go full time. You don't even have to go for the afternoon course. There are evening courses that begin by 5 p.m. and close by 9 p.m. Oh, he said, "Well, okay. So how am I going to get registration?" She said, "Don't worry." So she, in trying to help all her staff to make something good out of their life, they have what, I don't know what they call it in English, but this kind of collection, monthly contribution. For example, if they have 10 teachers and every teacher will contribute 5,000 naira at the end of the month, which means that at the end of every month, that's 50,000 naira. They will do something like that. I can't remember the exact amount, but that's what they did. And then every month they will take the money in turns, so that all of them, it will be heavy enough for them to do something actually reasonable. Make some commitment, investments, there and here and there. Well, so she told him that, "Well, I know it's not your turn." She said to him, "Go and get your admission first." So he applied for University of Lagos, and he had all the grades. He was good. He was good. He got the admission in the University of Lagos, Lagos State University rather, and evening courses. Wow, awesome. And so, how is he going to do? He came back to us, not really too excited. All I got, he came back and said, "Ma, I actually got the admission." She said, "Wow, and you're not smiling." He said, "Well, how am I going to get the money?" She said, "Don't worry. I know it's not your time, it's not your own turn to take the money, but I will talk to the others, and so they understand. They will allow you to take that money this month so you can register yourself." And he was like, "Just like that?" She said, "Yes, yes." And she went out of her way, helped him get the money, and he went. I mean, this is no relation of hers. He was just a good staff in her school, and she saw that he was good and wanted to help him advance. Well, at long and short of it, he was able to register himself in university. He will go to work and close by 3 p.m., go back and rest, and go to school at 5 p.m., close at 9 p.m., get home at 10, 11 sometimes. He kept doing it, In 5 years, I think 4 years, almost 5 years, he graduated from the university with his first degree. He was so excited. It was a great thing. And gradually, he began to get private teachings. He will get, people will keep referring him. Someone is going to write some international exams, and they need someone to teach or coach them. And they will be looking for him to coach them in either science, maths, any science subject of maths. And he was excellent in it. I tell you, he was excellent. He began to train them. And all those he trained, always came out among the best. There was a time that there was an exam in the hall of student, I think high school students in Nigeria, particular exam for an international admission. And the family in Lagos was representing Lagos State, and they contacted him, and he put that young lady through maths and science. And you know, the girl came first in all of Nigeria. That was like boosting his CV. He became hot in demand. And I tell you, the last time I saw him, he was living well. He was working, being paid hourly, and living well. Rented a nice house, living on his own, enjoying himself. And he wasn't working like other people where you go to work in the morning and close at night. He had his time, you know. Maybe today he has 3 lectures. Maybe tomorrow he has 5 lectures. And he would just go and do it and come back, and he was paid good money. You know, it is incredible. That's the kind of example I want to share with you, and I want you to see. So I'll be right back after this break. I'll be right back. So welcome back to the show again. I'm David McQuell. Today I'm the host of Global Impact. Today is my birthday. It's a special birthday. I'm glad to have this show today, and I hope that you love what we do. You want to encourage us. If you want to encourage us, you know, our email is just going to scroll down the bottom of your screen. You can drop us an email and say, hey, I love what you are doing, and I want to support what you are doing, so I want to donate to what you are doing. Just give me the donation link, and we will do that. We would really love to receive from you. We do a lot of missions activities, go to rural areas and cities and bring the gospel of Christ, take in medical supplies, take in clothing, and minister to people. We've been doing this for a very long time, you know. And then also this show, Global Impact, is powerful, you know, bringing great content, you know, values of the kingdom of God on the world stage. So if you want to support what we do, we have a lot of studio equipment that we are yet to get, you know. This is not the best. You can see that our lighting is not the best, and we don't have the best of cameras. We are working on it. So if you want to help us, that would be awesome. Use this birthday and say, hey, this is my happy birthday, and take it and use it for the kingdom of God. Improve your show or reach out for your outreaches. We will really love it. So thank you so very much. I'll be right back.
Everything that's reported on television isn't always true, but it should be. NTD, the power of truth. Now available 24/7 on television and streaming platforms.
Dreams are potential seeds.